Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near you, your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver Him. I will set Him on high, because He has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.
And now it's time for Bo and Andrew. God's glory is coming, isn't it, Bo? Just like we've been talking about. It's here.
Absolutely. We're really close. A lot of things going down. There's much to talk about today. So, we're going to discuss a lot of aspects with regards to precious metals in the markets. But we really need to understand what kind of season we're living in, because God's a God of time and seasons. And so we really want to emphasize the season that we're living in today.
Yeah. So, Andrew, you and I have been texting the last 4 or 5 days, probably. Oh, my gosh, it's still going up. Again, I am surprised. I'm not an expert in silver and gold at all. I don't even play one on TV. But to stay over 28 for a couple days like that, to me, is like, wow, it's primed to do something.
Oh, absolutely. It's we have been over 28 all week, and $30 is on the horizon. If we break through that, then we're headed to the vertical breakout that Bo talks about all the time, where we could march right to $50. I know it sounds absurd that it could move that quickly, but it happened that way in 2011. It's like the base runner in baseball, running toward third and then deciding he's going to go home and turn in that corner, and it just literally went from $30 to $49 in 2011, and it'll be much greater this time because there's inflation. We've got a war in the Middle East. We have conflicts all over the world, and our election is going to have a big impact on the entire globe. So it's big things happening over here.
Yeah, so I'll let Bo and both Andrew, you and Bo both answer this question, because I get a lot of people that have texted me or emailed me in the last few days saying, well, it's up to 28, like the stock market. It's too high. I'll wait till it to come down again. It's not like the stock market. You buy it as an insurance policy on the dollar, and also you're buying in it may go up. It's not too late to buy, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, let me start with that one, and then maybe Andrew can continue. But I just want to be honest with the viewers. What I did on Friday with Andrew. Okay, you see, what have we always said? I don't care the price of silver. I care that I have silver. I'm going to repeat that. I don't care the price of silver. I care that I have silver. There's going to be a moment in time that's coming that Andrew will not be able to deliver silver for a little window of time. But that's just not Andrew. Okay, this is not about Andrew. This is about every single gold silver dealer in North America and the world. Okay, a moment in time is coming that when God intervenes, like the whole point of this is what's written behind Pastor Dave, his glory. What's his channel called? His glory. What's his ministry called? His glory. Right? His glory is going to manifest on this earth. This is not the return of Jesus Christ. This is a moment in time that's comparable to what happened with Israel and Pharaoh when the angel of death showed up. This is a moment in time comparable to what happened at the Red Sea when God showed up in part of the sea. Okay, so if you've been listening to what we've been saying in reference to this is not going to continue. Pastor Dave's adamant about the fact that we win. You understand that when we talk like this, what we're saying is, you can go watch the mainstream media and you can listen to Satan's channel and Satan's news, because John 10:10 is very clear. It says, I come to give you life more abundantly, while Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So everything you're watching on the news media, everything that's being portrayed out there is the other side of the coin, is to kill, is to steal, and to destroy, okay? What we've been talking to you about why. What have we been talking about? Owning God's money. We don't want to give you advice on financialize what you're supposed to do, but Andrew is a means of delivering it to you. I have an understanding of time, and I've got an understanding of markets for the past, say, 20 years in precious metals. So, and then Pastor Dave's got an incredible knowledge of scriptures, so he can verify things that I'm talking about as well, too. So what I'm trying to say is, last Friday, I called up Andrew. I said, hey, Andrew, I want to buy X, Y, and Z from you. Basically, I bought silver from Andrew, a sizable position. Why? Because, like I said, I don't care about the price of silver and gold right now, particularly silver. It's irrelevant to me, because if I have too many digits in my bank account, to me, all it is digits in a bank account, and I know what's coming. I'm going to repeat that. If you have a bank account that has a lot of digits in it, you've got a bank account with a lot of digits in it. Those digits are a fraud. They're created out of thin air. You listen to our last podcast. We had, in the 70s, we barely had $1 billion when all this mess started. And now we're in the quadrillions. And from counting, that's like 12 days of counting versus 31 million years of counting. That's the magnitude of the amount of money that's been created. Okay. So to me, I know that the stock market is a complete and utter fraud. I know the bond market is a complete and utter fraud. I know the dollar. And why? Because the dollar is a complete and utter fraud. So that is in my heart. Now, if you think that's crazy, well, then that's your choice, because all of this mess in our world is because of free will. But we're here to tell you what's coming. What's coming is the word biblical, okay? What have we been saying for 2 years on this podcast? Watch silver and gold and the roof. We talk about, looking above your head, you see a roof. At gold, you've got a roof at about $2,200. The roof on silver was $27. Okay, we've been talking about it for 2 years. We said when that gets breached, silver and gold are going to blow vertical. What does that mean? Explode vertical. And that's not making things up. This is literally this is what could and will happen. If your staff could just give me a quick second to share a screen, I wanted to show you something that the CME actually has listed secretly on their websites about gold and silver. I downloaded this maybe 8 years ago. Actually, I downloaded this in 2014. I have had this in 2014. So basically, what is that? I have had this document for 10 years. And I don't even know if you can find it anymore. But I wanted to show this document. If maybe at some point, if your staff could share a screen, I could put this up for the viewers. But what it is CME explosion limits, okay? And so what they do, and if we can't get it up, don't worry, I'll just tell you what it is. But it's an appendix, and it talks about explosion limits. And so if silver explodes vertical, they have stop limits. And so they literally shut down the market, okay? So if silver blew $3 vertical in a single moment, in a few minutes, the electronic mechanisms they have preset in the system will immediately lock up the system. And they will completely lock the systems up for 5 minutes. That will allow the bullion banks to liquidate their short positions, because a short position on $3 is billions of dollars to a bank. We're talking billions of dollars. So they will lock up the markets, and then they will lock them for 5 minutes, and then they'll reopen them after 5 minutes. They will have dumped massive short positions. Silver then is going to blow vertical another $3, because if they're dumping short positions, all you're going to have is a massive explosion, but it's going to be in 5-minute increments. So every minute you'll see silver jump another $3. They're going to lock it up for 5 minutes, and then they're going to dump massive short positions again to prevent what? A destruction of the banking system, so they're going to do it again. So there's 3 levels of this position that they're going to do. And when this happens, let me share the screen right here. So I'm not making this up. This is actually the document right here from the CME. Okay. And so what this is telling you, because there's 4 levels to it, This is going to take 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. And so then Andrew can explain from here when this happens. But when this happens, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, that's 20 minutes. Okay. So I've been, Andrew and I've been joking and talking about, and Pastor Dave about a beach day. This is why I know this is coming, because if they liquidate massive short positions in 5 minutes, the moment they open it up, it's going to blow vertical again because the short positions have been liquidated. And so in 20 minutes, $3 times four stops is $12. Silver will move $12 vertical when this event goes down in a matter of 20 minutes. After the fourth stop, there will be no more stops, and then it will probably jump between $20 and $30 in a matter of a few minutes. So in a single day, you're going to add $20 to $30 to the $12 stop. So that's between $30 and $40. Silver will move in a matter of 30 minutes, maybe an hour or two. Okay. That's what silver is going to do. And I'm not making this up. This is the index. This is literally a letter written by the CME on December 5, 2014. So I want viewers to understand when this thing goes, and we've said the roof on silver is 26. So I know Andrew is saying, hey, we got a handful of people because the price is gold's making new highs. People are dumping. People, you're making the silliest mistake. I'm literally buying silver with Andrew because I know what's coming on Friday. Okay. And Andrew can verify all this. Gold's got stops at $100. So gold's going to go 100, stop. 100, stop. It's going to go four times, so $400. It'll do $400 increments in 20 minutes, and then it's probably going to go $1,000 in a single few minutes. So gold's got a target of $1,400 in a single day. So I'm telling you, when this thing blows, Kent Christmas actually had a prophetic word. If you're sitting on the fence, this is an incredible prophet. Okay, this guy is so anointed, and Pastor Dave will love this. If you're sitting on the fence to see which side won, you've already lost.
So watch me, saith God, all that I've declared shall come to pass. Make sure, saith the Lord, that when I begin to release my blessings, that you do not miss them. Come on. Because you rode the fence to see which side won before you chose. And I say to you, you ride the fence, saith God, you've already chose. God says there will be many that will remember what the prophets have declared and say, oh, if we just had one more moment. Hear me, says the Lord, I'm getting ready to stop speaking prophetic, and I'm going to fulfill it.
Because when God intervenes upon this, it's just going to blow. There is no stopping what's about to happen. And so that takes me to what Pastor Dave can maybe further expand upon, and Andrew. But when you understand, when did the great wealth transfer happen for Israel at Egypt? It happened at Passover, did it not? Yep. Okay. See, please understand, this is not political. This is biblical times we're living in. And so the eclipse just happened. 2 weeks from the eclipse is Passover. And so all my charts are pointing to there's a big move coming. I don't know the day it's going to happen. This is a secret. God's not going to, not my secret. It's God's secret. He's not, we're at a moment in time where I know it's about to blow vertical. And so I'm going to finish on this. When this event happens that I just described, that's listed in the CME, we joke about a beach day. The bottom line, we kind of, it's a joke in a way, because what I'm saying is that if you're sitting on the fence to see if Bo, Andrew, and Pastor Dave know what they're talking about and waiting to see if we're right or not, when it happens, Andrew, unfortunately, and not only Andrew, every single gold dealer in North America and the world are going to shut their doors for a window of time, whether it's 3 days. Remember, Jesus went in tomb for 3 days, right? It could be 3 days. It'll be shut down for, I don't know, but it'll be shut down for a few days. And then when it opens back up, Andrew will be able to start selling again, but it's not going to be at $27 or $30 silver. It will probably be at $70 silver with a spread of $30. So now he might be, and this is because he wants to sell it to you for $100. It's just, that's the market price. You see, so we're trying to get you to wake up, or not just to pay attention to what we're telling you. And again, like I started, and pay attention to the times that we're living in. We're this far away from Passover, and we had a historic, I don't need to get into the eclipse. There's enough videos out there between all the prophets and the apostles that have done things. There's an incredible amount of information about this eclipse that just happened 2 days ago, and the biblicality, let me know if that's even a word, but the amount of biblical events that from the Nineveh to the crosses, all these things that happen are just this is not a coincidence. This is a biblical thing that just went down. We're seeing silver and gold literally breaching the roof of $2,300 on gold, $27, $28 in silver. We're at this explosion point. I've shown you how it's going to explode based on what they've got to prevent them from being utterly destroyed in a single day. And so I want to have people understand this is not us making things up. This is just a matter of being wise. So you can be smart. Smart's like, stay in the stock market. Wisdom is different. Wisdom is like listening to your heart, listening to the Lord, listening to what Pastor Dave's telling you scripturally, because this is a wisdom thing. This is not about, listening to your stockbroker. This is about, if your world feels screwed up, if the world feels messed up to you, if something doesn't feel right, and you seriously do not hold God's money, Haggai 2:8, you're probably not sleeping really well at night. And I'll take it, Pastor Dave and Andrew, take it from here.
Andrew, I'll let you take it with what Bo just talked about.
Oh, there's just so much to comment on. First of all, I love Bo's enthusiasm, and I share that as well, because it comes naturally when everything that we've been talking about every single day, we're watching it happen and really unfold. Like, really, this has been a no-brainer. This is like 2007 when the real estate prices were sky high, and anybody that you talk to about real estate pricing would say, yeah, it's going to come crashing down. But no one really did anything about it, except for the guy from the movie The Big Short. But really, most people just sat and watched it go down. With this, it's the opposite. We've known for years that gold and silver were going to break out. We've watched everything else out there break out. Bitcoin, real estate, stocks, baseball cards, rare paintings, anything that you can possibly name, everything has broken out except for gold and silver. And now they're starting to. And before, my price target was that we would see $2,300 gold by the end of the year. Now I've got that bumped up to $2,500. It's probably going to even go higher than that. They're saying that by 2030, it could go from $8,000 to $10,000 an ounce. And why not? Bitcoin's at $70,000 right now. 8 or 9 years ago, it was nothing. So just a couple of other things about Bo showing the CME. What they're trying to do there is they're trying to avoid what happened in the flash crash in 2010, where they had to stop trading in the stock market because it was dropping so much and no one knew why until after it was done. And then they said some guy, institutional trader, had a fat finger and hit the wrong button and it triggered a massive sell-off. Well, they don't want that happening with gold and silver while they're in they have short positions. They don't want it gapping up while they're in short positions because they'll lose their tail. So this gives them 5-minute increments every $3 to be able to exit those trades. And in all likelihood, they're probably going to join the trades on the upside. So that just shows just how fraudulent the spot market is and why it's important that you own the physical gold and silver. But really, I was hoping that we would be at $30 silver and $2,400 gold just in time for this podcast. And I'll just wrap up my thoughts here on the resilience of metals today. Like, silver was up about 40 cents an ounce. Then it was down about 30 or 40 cents an ounce. And it just keeps bouncing back and forth. And right now it's almost even for the day. It's down like 9 cents. So what that tells me is that the people that manipulate this market, that want to see gold and silver go down, these are the big banks. They're the ones that are probably knocking the prices back down. But the demand is so strong that they're unable to do it. And we've been talking about that for so long now, where when they're no longer able to manipulate this market, it will break free and go vertical, like Bo says. We're really there. And we have until at least the end of this year for that to happen, because the election brings a lot of uncertainty until we know who the next president is. And then even the fix isn't overnight. It takes time. So this is definitely the space where you want to be right now.
I agree. People have telling me from hedge funds guys that I know has said that, as we've been talking about for 2 years, the big banks keep hammering it down, and it's like clockwork. You watch it go up and then it goes down. But now, that's why I said, Andrew, or Texas the last couple of days, it's staying over 28. They don't have control of it anymore. It could be off to the races now.
Yeah. And I want to say this, because what's happening is, because this is a global thing. See, silver and gold are global. And finally, what it is coming down to the BRICS and China and Russia. And what they're doing is, at this point, anytime there's a price dip, these big countries are coming and buying everything up all the time. So they're now, and bottom line is, the BRICS are no longer the friend of the United States to keep playing the game. Are you with me? So, Andrew's talked a lot about the BRICS, and so their whole agenda is to just take down the United States, because Klaus Schwab does wants what? He stated, I've heard the video, he wants China to rise as a superpower, okay? And the only way to do that is to dethrone the U.S. dollar. So what their agenda is to dethrone, and remember, God's going to use all things for his glory, okay? So as scary as these things are, God knows all of this, okay? So they have an agenda to dethrone the U.S. dollar. This is a Kim Clement prophecy. Kim Clement stated that, they will bring this nation to its knees. These are Kim Clement's words, okay? The crash of the U.S. dollar is bringing this nation to its knees. It's going to be a very scary, horrific thing, because it's the loss of the world's reserve currency. So the BRICS at some point are going to attack the U.S. dollar. Now, they're setting the stage by buying up any little dip in gold and silver, like we're seeing right now. That's why Andrew's saying we're seeing resiliency at $27, $28, $2,200 on gold. We're seeing that's a floor, because of it. The moment it pulls back there, and they're buying it up right away. So they're having a huge problem keeping it down right now. And so going back to the CME numbers, understand that these are high-speed computer algorithms, that they have 5-minute increments. Remember, who's been shorting silver? The bullion banks. Okay, the ones that wrote this thing, the CME wrote this thing this was 10 years ago. They knew that one day in the future, there's a chance that something like this could happen. And now we're seeing it happen. So when these high-speed computers are dumping their short positions in 5 minutes, okay, globally, they're in the United States are dumping them, and then they open up again. At the end of those 4 increments, okay, they have, pay very close attention here. Those short positions to keep silver under $30, under $27, there are none left. There are no short positions left. Get it? So $12 allowed them to get out of their short position that they've been running for decades. And then they go net long the moment afterwards. Now there's your $20, $30 spike on silver in a single day. You see, I just want viewers to understand, this is God's money that Babylon hates. Okay, so we're talking gold and silver. It's in the scriptures. The silver and the gold are mine, saith the Lord. In God's kingdom, you would only have an honest money system. But in Babylon only has a fraud. It operates on a fraud. Just think about that, okay? Babylon's money system is a fraud. It's a demonic money system based out of thin air and backed by nothing. It's not even backed by petrol anymore, because Saudi Arabia has already left. Okay, so it's not federal. There's no reserves, and a note means it's paper. And Pastor Dave, if you test paper in a fire, forget about it, right?
Yep.
So that's why you're going to see this biblical move we're talking about. And so gold's not on its high. Gold's on its highs, about to explode to numbers you can't even comprehend. Imagine an event where bullion banks go net long, Andrew.
If they go net long, then this thing's just going to blow right through the roof. The 8,000 to 10,000 by the year 2030 is minuscule compared to where it could actually head. And it's I like what Bo said about the central banks going heavy on gold purchases and buying the dip, and with silver too. For people out there that have been involved in cryptocurrency, we've watched this happen for a long time. The BRICS nations before BRICS, we're pretty much doing the same thing as what we're doing here in the States. That's why gold and silver have just been so stable. They don't tend to move quite like we're seeing right now, or like we saw in 2011. But they are doing that right now because here our short, the way that the gold and silver are being shorted is being driven by the big banks. And the big banks don't want us to have gold and silver. But outside of this country, especially with the BRICS nations, to them, the only currency out there is the gold and silver and their new gold-backed central bank digital currency. So my money's on the gold and silver. And if I talk about gold too much, I just want to clarify that what's good for gold is great for silver, because silver has a lot more room to run. So I don't mean to leave it out, but it's silver has better potential to double or triple in price, or even much more than gold does.
Just to add on what Bo was talking about, Kent Christmas, Satan owns the fence. It's time to get off the fence.
Absolutely. So for people out there, if you've really been undecided on rolling over a retirement account to hold physical gold and silver, and there's a lot of them out there, people have been reaching out to us and say, hey, I spoke with you a couple of years ago. I spoke with you a few months ago and I wasn't ready, but I'm ready now. It's not too late to do this. Okay, you really haven't missed out. You still have a great opportunity to roll over an existing retirement account into one that holds physical gold and silver, and to have it not be a taxable event. It's really, really important to do it now while before the stock market completely pulls back, and it's not too late. And I would like to back up something that Bo said, and I love it. Bo bought silver from us in November of 2022 when it was $18.50 an ounce. And his most recent purchase was when silver was $28 an ounce. That's almost a $10 difference. And for most people out there, the human nature and our ego would not allow us to pay $28 for something that you could have got for 18. It's a very difficult move to make. But Bo sees this. He's not worried too much about what his entry is, because we know where this is going. And if we have $100 silver, what difference is that $10 going to make? So people should have that same mindset, because take your emotions out of it and just make an educated decision based on where we know this is going.
Beverly Hills Precious Metals Exchange is a client-focused firm devoted to assisting our clients with precious metals. Our clients range from first-time to serious coin collectors and investors seeking to add precious metals to their investment portfolios. We are not interested in volatile investments, leveraged products, and intangible assets. With rising inflation and the devaluing of the dollar hurting middle-class families, investing in gold and silver ensures protection for your hard-earned money. Save the value of your money today by investing in gold and silver at Beverly Hills Precious Metals.
But Bo sees this. He's not worried too much about what his entry is, because we know where this is going. And if we have $100 silver, what difference is that $10 going to make? So people should have that same mindset, because take your emotions out of it and just make an educated decision based on where we know this is going. We've realized that after 2 or 3 years of talking about the beach day, as we start to approach what could eventually be very close to that day, that process has already started. The beach day doesn't mean that we've made so much money here at Beverly Hills Precious Metals that we're just going to take the day off and go to the beach and enjoy. It's not that at all. It's more of the thing where the price of gold and silver goes up so quickly that we need to take a step back and reevaluate where the premiums are at, get a consensus of where the market's at. But we're not going to literally go to the beach, because we have a lot of people that call all the time and say, hey, my IRA has funded. I just got notice and I'd like to do my IRA trade today, or I need to take a distribution, or I need to sell part of what I have at home. So we'll always be here for all that stuff. And I just wanted to clarify, the beach day has just been a fun term or phrase for us to give for a day that really will happen, where the premiums will go so high in a single day that we'll have to sit back and just reevaluate. But we're still going to be here servicing our clients, and hopefully all the other companies out there are, but we'll be experiencing the same thing at the same time.
I was about to say, I was told by somebody in the know that in 2025, President Trump will bring back, and when back in office, a gold-backed standard as soon as 2025 for the United States. I never heard that before until the other day.
Wow.
Right. I just want to know from a prophetic standpoint, okay, Nixon took us off the gold standard, okay, and then this June 9th, So literally, it was April, May, June. So like we're talking 2 months from now, and the start of June will officially be 50 years to the mark of when when Kissinger and the Saudis with the United States signed the petrodollar contract. So we're at 50 years. The prophetic word is we're going to go back to the gold standard. Okay. And Pastor Dave, expand upon the covenant, because it's all about covenant. The United States is going to be the world's superpower. Okay. Because Klaus Schwab wants the United States to fall with China. He wants to raise. All these people are, politically are working for China. China, to let you know who that is in history, that's 400 years of slavery, Israel to Pharaoh. Okay. So Egypt is China. Will fall. They're going to collapse like Egypt and will never, ever, ever rise to power again. Look, Egypt, since Pharaoh, has never come to any kind of substantial power ever in history again. The same will happen to China. And when the United States dollar collapses, the Kim Clement prophecy was, and then shortly thereafter, you hear the sound of great victory. Okay. And so then Trump will come back. He's not allowed to be here on the collapse. Okay. He will return specifically to rebuild the United States, to rebuild what God destroyed. You see what I'm saying? And what God let other people destroy via the bricks and everything else. So this is not political. This is a biblical time we're living in, and we're giving you wisdom on how this is going to play out. I've done my research. People go back, listen to my podcast. This is all biblical, and the prophets have spoken. I'm putting pieces together on how this is going to play out. This is incredible how this is going to play out. And actually, if your staff can pull up page 20, I want to show you how awesome. This is mind-blowing. I just got this yesterday morning, Pastor Dave, page 20. So when you read Revelation 13, 8, it says, this calls for wisdom. What are we talking about? Revelation 13, 8, it says, this calls for wisdom, right? Let the person who has insight, calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of man. That number is 666. Okay, so what I'm showing you here, this is wild. I got this yesterday morning. God's like, calculate this, and it freaked me out. So this is mathematical proof. Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins at Passover. Listen to this, please. So the number of man is 666. So read Revelation 12 sign. Pastor Dave, you remember Revelation 12 sign? And it was September 23rd in 2017 in the heavenlies. Virgo gave birth to a son.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? Virgo gave birth to a son. Everyone's talking about that. It was like funny. It was like, we're going to be raptured. And like, nothing happened, right? See, but like the eclipse 2 days ago, it's a marker. See, it states very clearly in Luke, where God will use through signs in the heavens. That's his portrait. His signs in the heavens are the sun, the moon, and the stars. Okay. This is not astrology. This is signs in the heavens. This is scriptural. Okay. So Revelation 12 sign was not astrology. It was a sign in the heaven that was literally written in Revelation on Patmos 2,000 years ago, the exact story alignment. This is crazy, and yet it happened on September 23rd, 2017. Tell me we're not living in biblical times. Tell me that Jesus Christ is not the Passover lamb, because from September 23rd, 2017, the Revelation 12 sign, 6 years, 6 months, 6 days, and Jesus is dead in the tomb on Good Friday.
Wow.
The Passover lamb. So what was born in the heavenlies on Revelation 12 sign, it says a son was born. We know Jesus isn't coming back as a child. So that was a marker that we calculate to this past Good Friday 2 weeks ago. What was born in the heavenlies died. So Jesus was in the tomb on Good Friday, 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days. Tell me this is not biblical. There's no way that could have happened, because then 3 days later was Resurrection Sunday. Resurrection Sunday after he died. Resurrection Sunday. Then we played the Kim Clement prophecy last time from January 21, 70 days to 100 days. So the spirit of Pythos, I don't know if they can play that video, the spirit of Pythos will be destroyed. It's a 1 minute video. The spirit of Pythos will be destroyed between the 70th and the 100th day in America.
I saw a python. And God said, between the 70 and 100 days, it shall begin, the strangulation and the destruction of this will begin. And it is going crazy. It is manifesting throughout America because it is dying. Now, you may not understand spiritual warfare and Diablo and Satan and demons and darkness, but it waits for an attraction. It waits for an invitation. And as I've said, there's been great division. But also it was spoken of that beginning January 21st, there would be a period in between 70 and 100 days, the spirit of Pythos will be destroyed if the people act accordingly. This spirit is doing its utmost to destroy as many states as possible, make its mark. It'll be leaving, and we'll show that to you today. I wore this purposefully. It's the gold. And I'll explain that in a few minutes because he spoke to me about watching the gold as a sign.
The 70th day, Pastor Dave, was 3 days after 666, after Jesus died on the cross. It was Resurrection Sunday. The 70th day was Resurrection Sunday. The 100th day is the last day of Passover, April 30th. So March 31st to April 30th, the spirit of Pythos will be destroyed in America. If the spirit of Pythos is destroyed in America, guess what gold and silver are going to do? Okay. And so what happens at Passover? It's when God intervenes. So what are we talking about in all these podcasts? At some point, God's going to intervene. Well, you want two examples of that? God intervened at Passover because God sent the angel of death. He intervened for mankind. God also intervened when Jesus died on the cross. He sent his only son to die on the cross. He sent a solution, a savior. So at Passover, God sends a solution. He makes a way for man. He intervenes for man, and at Pentecost, he empowers man. So that sets the stage for Pentecost, which is coming in May, when the latter rain is literally going to be empowered by the Holy Spirit. So between now and the 30th of May, fasten your seatbelts. The 21st of January, 2024 is the Leviticus cycle from Roe v. Wade. So Roe v. Wade became law January 22nd, 1973. 50-year Leviticus cycle would be January 22nd, 2023, which started the year 50. The year 50 would have ended on the last day, would be January 21, 2024, because January 22, 2024 starts the 51st year. So Kim Clement prophecy stated from January 21, the 70th to the 100th day, spirit of Pythos will be destroyed, which is literally Resurrection Sunday to the last day of Passover, April 30th. So we are in this window of wow. That's about to start in this world. And that's why, we're talking about, how to prepare yourself financially.
Yeah, and it goes back to the way you said it with a covenant. God has a covenant with the United States of America. We were founded based on the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We've lost that, and that's why we're going through the trials and tribulations as a nation today. We have to put God back, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his son Jesus Christ. When our forefathers came to this country, we were anointed by God to be that beacon of light for the rest of the world, for Christianity and the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and also to be that protection for his beloved Israel. And up until only a couple of years ago, we were the largest population in the world of Jewish people. Now they're, as the scripture said in prophecy, that they would return to the nation of Israel in the latter years. That's happening right before our very eyes. You see a spiritual revival going on in Israel, knowing who the Messiah is. And it all ties into Passover, God's perfect timing. The bondage is coming up. Everything we look in our life's bondage, mortgage, all this. Being slaves, we don't know we're slaves. We're waking up to the slavery and what they got when the Red Sea moment happened and they parted the Red Sea. The children of Israel got to go home with Moses, but the silver and gold went with them to reestablish it. So praise God, it's coming.
Circling back to the gold and silver, right where Pastor Dave finished off.
This is not a time to be afraid. This is literally a time to step forward and do something. So how long would it take if they just had just a cash transaction? How long would it take if they had 401ks and IRAs and that kind of stuff? Maybe that's a good way to explain to people.
If somebody wanted to make a cash purchase, that's where we call you and we talk to you about gold and silver. We make an agreement on what you're going to convert your green dollars into, whether it be gold, silver, or both. We'll send you an invoice, and you just find your way over to the bank and send a wire transfer. And then once we receive the wire transfer, we send you a paid invoice. Typically, the order is going to ship within about 48 hours, sometimes same day, sometimes the next day. And we always send an email with the tracking information. Once we send it insured as well. And for the IRA transactions, these are great. We have an onboarding process here that we're the only company in the whole country that does it. We're in a pilot program and have been for almost a year, where we can have an account number opened for you for a new precious metals IRA within the same phone call. So not the first phone call that we make with you, but we schedule an onboarding phone call with the IRA custodian that we use once you agree to do it, and they walk you through the process. And at the end of that call, you have an account number. It's just a matter of funding it. And now this IRA custodian acts as an agent and helps get those funds from your existing IRA custodian. So this erases a big problem that Pastor Dave and I have talked about for a long time, the last 2-3 years at least, where the old way we were doing it, let's say you have an IRA with Fidelity and you want to transfer it out of Fidelity into our IRA custodian. What would happen is there's all kinds of games that Fidelity would play as far as not sending the funds, not transferring them, saying that they have to do everything through mail to make it take longer. This process was all designed to make you change your mind and not move your funds away from them. Well, now they're dealing with like a qualified agent at another IRA custodian, and there's no more of that. I don't hear those complaints at all anymore, and it's such a great thing. So if you've tried before and you got frustrated with the process, it's a lot better now. You should definitely reach out to us soon. And just another thing about premiums, okay? If you bought an ounce of silver, let's call it a silver eagle in November of 2022, the premium was 100% above the actual spot price of silver. So silver was $18.50. It would cost you $36.50 to get 1 ounce in November 2022. Well, today, the premiums are much lower than that, and you could get a silver eagle for exactly that same price, even though silver is now $28 an ounce. So take advantage of those low premiums, because when the herd mentality starts to hit, and when you start to see in the news, like I did today about gold and silver, then what will happen is the herd's going to rush in. Everybody's going to be buying gold and silver much more than right now, and the premiums will go higher. They will. So I saw today when I was watching the news that Costco was back with their 1 ounce gold bars, which
Sure.
Reach out to us before you go out and try to get the 1 ounce gold bars, because there's some assets that might work better for you than those. But I wanted to see what their price was. So I actually took a screenshot of it. I saw it again on the TV. It says that they've sold thousands and thousands of bars. So I clicked on the internet. I tried to get a price, and they're sold out in my area. I'm guessing that they're probably sold out just about everywhere else. So the demand is really, really high. That means the premiums are going to be higher very, very soon. So reach out soon.
In a bull market, everybody wants what everybody else wants, right? That's what a bull market is. It's like, oh, whatever the price, I just want to get it. I just want some. See, when the dollar is dethroned as the world reserve currency, every time a currency ever falls, and this is not a make believe. This is, you go back and study history 5,000 years. Every single monetary instrument of transaction that's ever been created by man has always, not sometimes, always gone to zero. But before it goes to zero, they hyperinflate it. So they make a whole bunch of it. That means they credit like crazy. Okay. And so when they create this out of thin air, it becomes really obvious, and it's called the Weimar Republic as an example, right? So Andrew on his website's got a good example of how this all works. But the point is, before it blows up, they hyperinflate it. We're seeing that happen right now. That's why people's homes are, that they bought in the 70s for 30, 40,000. I've used this example before. Today are $500,000 to $1 million. People, your home's 50 years old, it should be worth 20,000, not $1 million, right? But the point I'm trying to make is the money supply is blown up like crazy. So what happens is you feel like, you're wealthy because you believe you're wealthy. You're not you believe it. And that's the thing. So when this event goes down, everyone's going to be piling into precious metals. That's why they're called precious metals. You see, you have to work to get them. You have to mine to get them. There's only so much precious metals that you can get. And because this is the huge problem, there's many, it's not so much millionaires anymore. It's billionaires. There's thousands of billionaires. You need one billionaire. I don't know how many thousands, who knows? You need one billionaire to step up and he can buy up all the inventory. Period. It's gone. Okay. That's the problem. That's why they're called precious metals, because you have to work to get them. So, in a bull market, Andrew might be able to sell them to you, but Andrew might only have, right now, Andrew has a very large supply, potentially. I'm not sure what he has, and he can probably reach out to get more. But in a bull market, when this thing's going crazy, the big money's already come in and bought massive chunks of it up. And so there's just little, there's like, it's like in the forest, there's crumbs left. And that's kind of what happens in a bull market. Maybe you can expand it better, because I that's the best I can do. But if you can expand upon that, Andrew, about, what happens with inventory when prices keep going higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's unbelievable. But I like what you were saying about the billionaires. Last year, we did have one of the Walton heirs buy $50 million worth of silver. And I know we talk about this all the time, but this is for the people that haven't heard it. That put a big damper on the silver supply. And that's just $50 million. If Elon Musk were to tweet right now, bought $500 million worth of silver today, it's game over. That's what we would refer to as the beach day. Of course, we're still here handling liquidations and doing IRA transfers. We're still here doing all that stuff, but that would be game over, because there's just not enough available sellers to fill an order like that. I mean, you could make it happen. It's just you would have to delay. Delay delivery. So if somebody wanted to buy $50 million worth of silver from us personally today, okay, we would talk to them about the different assets that we would do to be able to fill that order. I would give them a schedule of what we could fill right now, what's in our inventory, and then a schedule of what they could expect each week. And at that point, I'm at risk a little bit, because I have to secure the balance of it, and the market's moving during that whole time. At a time like this, that's a dangerous game, because it can go up $2-3, just like Bo said, like nothing. So it's really, the demand is when the demand is there, people will pay anything to get it. I mean, I had somebody recently say, wow, gold and silver are going up big time. This was in a website submission. They said, should I mortgage my home and buy gold and silver? And this is one I called myself. I called them and said, absolutely not. Never do anything like that to obtain gold and silver. You do need it. It is portfolio insurance, but you shouldn't be taking out mortgages on your home to get gold and silver.
Yep. Pray about it. Yeah. Always pray about it. Let the Lord guide you. And if he tells you no, then no, because he knows your circumstance better than you know your circumstance. But the thing is, silver and gold has always been God's, and it always will be God's, always, to the book of Revelation. So we have just a couple minutes left. I'll give it to each of you to close out. Go ahead, Bo.
So like Andrew was just saying, so a gentleman walk up, call him up and say, I want, a 7-digit order or 8-digit order. So Andrew could fill it. But now imagine this scenario. Andrew says, okay, this is what I presently have as inventory. So I can get you all of this in my inventory. And then, you have to wait for the rest. So now here's the problem. The second phone call comes in and Andrew has nothing to sell. See, that's the problem that I'm trying to have people understand, is that when the first phone call comes in, Andrew would sell all of his inventory because he's doing his best to help that individual. But the second phone call that comes in, there's nothing to sell because the first phone call took it all. And that's what a bull market is, when you have these deep pockets with these people, with 7, 8 digits, in their bank accounts. And understand that's what's coming. So I've said before, I'll say it again. God does things on his times and on his seasons. If there's ever a moment in time when historically God has intervened upon the world, I've stated it before, I'm saying it again. We saw it happen with the angel of death. God sent, be clear here, that God sent the angel of death to Pharaoh to finally free Israel. God sent his only begotten son to save humanity. You see what I'm saying? And so does it happen this Passover? Again, it's God's secret. It's not, we don't know 100%, but history tells us that he's done it at Passover. And the math I showed you on the 666s is wild.
It is.
That's phenomenal. Okay. We just had an eclipse 2 days ago, which is and was biblical. Don't trust me. Go listen to all the podcasts that are out there about the eclipse. Okay. So if there was time that you would say we're living in biblical times, I think you're staring at it right now. Okay. I think we're sitting in it right now. And so, it's all about free will. This is a fight for souls. Satan wants to take your soul to hell with him because he knows that's where he's going. And on the other hand, God, Jesus Christ, loves you. That's why he sent his only begotten son. Okay, Jesus loves you. And so if you know all that, that's great. But, if you think the finances of this world are real, no, they're a fraud, because that's Babylon. And understand, studying history, Babylon fell at Pentecost. Just saying. So God bless everybody. Thank you for listening. And Andrew, go ahead.
Well, definitely reach out to us. Right now, our response time is usually within 24 hours. And if you fill out the online form late in the evening, we're probably not going to get back to you the next day. But please be sure to fill out that notes section as thorough as you can, because that's how I can get you to the right department. Things that I'm seeing right now are people that are saying, hey, I've got an annuity right now, and I'm thinking that I might want to either cash out or roll this over into gold and silver. I'd like to know how that's possible. Or I've got a 401k at a company that I no longer work for, and it's my understanding that I could roll that over. How quickly can you get that done? And that's another thing. Everyone's wondering if there's enough time left. And there is enough time left. Gold and silver have a lot of room to run, and we're going to certainly be here. So definitely reach out soon.
That's right. Yep. Silver and gold are mine, saith the Lord. And, it's almost, it is biblical times. And as we've been talking about for 2 years, this time is upon us. I feel it. And now the numbers are, we've said we felt it coming before, but now we feel it and the numbers are showing it. So I don't know if it's tomorrow or it's another year, but we're getting closer. So
Absolutely.
That ends today's Take 5. God bless you, and go in his shalom.
Hi, this is Bo Polny, and after thousands of requests, this is my official announcement. This is a heads up and a first glimpse of what I have been working on. I have been working on a book. This book is a prophetic understanding of God's perfect timing from creation to his return. It's going to be explosive. This is the first book I've ever written, and it will explain and illustrate with beautiful full-color graphics of God's timing of events into the end of the age, the end of days. After reading it, you'll want to keep this beautiful book on your coffee table and share it with all of your friends and family. I'm telling you, it is amazing, and you're going to love it. This book is going to open your eyes to the present day events and how they are occurring with mathematical perfection, as they directly fulfill events prophesied in Revelation over 2,000 years ago. God speaks through his word. We know that. He also speaks through his servants, the prophets, and yes, he does speak through numbers. If you want to see how truly perfect his timing is, and the specific calculations he has revealed to me about our future into the end of the age, this book has all the incredible details. Are you ready to see the cover and a glimpse of inside images? Here you go. I doubt there's a book anywhere in the world like this one. It illustrates God's perfect timing from creation to the book of Revelation, including the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the 7 seals of Revelation, the great American eclipses, the coming great Egyptian eclipses, the coming aliens, yes, we talk about aliens, the rise of Antichrist and the mark of the beast, the coming rapture, and all the way to the likely timing of Christ's return, and much, much more. The mathematical calculations are beyond any human probabilities, clearly illustrating the end of days was written from the beginning by the hand of God. This book has a lot of surprises and will open your eyes as to how truly great our God is. I believe it's going to blow your mind and get you excited and prepared for the times ahead. It'll change the way you look at recent events in the world. It'll give you the power and understanding of how long we really have into the end of days and how all things are working together for good. That's why after reading this book, you're going to begin to see how Revelation, like the Bible, is actually the good news, as all things are manifesting in His perfect timing. So, how can you be the first to get your very own copy? Well, there's a link below this video. You can be the first to pre-order it and get it as soon as it comes out in April. And if you're one of the first 300 people to pre-order this book, you can receive a 30% discount by simply entering the code 777 at checkout. There's also a link for pre-orders on our website, so be sure to use that discount code. And yes, the book will be available on Amazon, however, no discount will be there. This is Bo Polny. I love you, Jesus loves you, and I know you will love this book. Thank you so much, and God bless.